A quick note, I'm covering the work of Lisa Yuskavage in this video, which contains quite a bit of nudity, and I will be blacking it out in this video. That is not at all because I find it offensive, nor do I think anyone else would find it offensive. It's just in case like the YouTube robo-editors like do an image recognition on a naked body and then remove the video. Painter Lisa Yuskavage has taken over 2 David Zwirner gallery locations. Uptown, there are 8 brand new paintings, typically huge and phenomenal to see. But what I'm going to talk about is the work in the Chelsea location, which presents 92 really tiny paintings, which could be one of 3 things. Often she makes tiny studies before the big works. Sometimes she'll make a tiny work after she's made a big work. And sometimes it's just a tiny painting that exists as a tiny painting. Either way, it's a retrospective. It's from college to present day, including tiny versions of the ones uptown. Lisa is what I would call a cinematographic painter, by which I mean there's a feeling of a narrative in there, but it feels like it's stretching time. And so cinematographic painters have this ability to kind of let your eye discover things in a very particular order across the canvas and across time. It's not just like you standing in front of it and seeing more the longer you stand there, which is true of most works of art. Like they are intentionally locking you in to this like chronological discovery of the painting over time. Lisa is probably the best artist of all time at doing this. And the reason I say that is because she's thrown a super difficult wrench into the system, and that is sexuality and nudity. You'll notice this in any painting or sculpture of a naked person. There is a human extreme magnetism to certain parts of the body. So if you're trying to catch someone's attention in a museum with all these other things, nudity is a super easy way to do it. It's a super magnetic pull for anyone's eyes. But it can be an extreme challenge if you're a cinematographic painter. If you're trying to lock someone's eye into a certain order of the canvas, that magnetic draw is way too strong. So you need to be incredibly smart and skilled and calculated to think about how you're going to balance that out, how you're going to move your eye away from that degree of extreme magnetism. Like it's so strong, in fact, that you don't even have to show full nudity. The implication that it's there kind of in the future is enough to pull your eye to that area. And so looking at a Lisa Yuskavage painting, what I'm thinking about is how she's doing that, whether that's super incredibly bright fingernails to kind of pull your eye up. Like in this one has so much going on. So you're drawn here first, bam, but then she's using this high level of detail in the bottom to pull your eye down there. Then the round canvas is purposeful and this guy's gaze to pull you back up to get the punchline of this painting, which is so successful because she's stretching that time and controlling where your eyes go. So the big paintings have this advantage because they're huge and you really can't see the whole thing all at once. But in the tiny paintings, everything is compressed, including your eye movement. So it's much, much faster, and it's almost a way for you to really examine exactly what she's doing to kind of experiment with pulling your eyes. And she'll use every tool in the book, which is why it's good to see 100 different versions of her doing this. In this case, it's not just the color contrast in the face, but if you see this in person, super highly textured paint in the face there that again pulls your eye up. So Lisa Yuskavage paintings are about a lot that I'm sure everyone has written about, the reclaiming of female sexuality. She's clearly having like a wicked, humorous, fun time with some of the paintings she's working on. But this particular show at this particular moment really gives you an opportunity to check out a master at cinematographic painting in a genre that is so resistant to eye movement. And this is also something you can apply going forward at every museum you see. If a painter who is doing nude or highly sexual works, like if they're just grabbing your attention or if they're counterbalancing that. Okay, here's the secret of the whole show. Between these 2 particular paintings, there's a slightly larger space than any other space in the entire gallery. And I heard this from Lisa herself when she was in the gallery the first day. So this is totally real. That space is fully intentional because it represents for her a moment where she thought she was going to quit painting and become a filmmaker. So there was a long stretch of several years where she stopped painting to consider a film degree. So now I feel like everything makes sense with the desire to stretch time. Did you appreciate this video? I'm taking a vote. This is an experiment for newsletter readers only, and I'm taking a vote on do you want a video in every single newsletter instead of the written content? The newsletters will always include the list of recommendations, but that part where I feature a show, do you want a video or the way it's been done in a written format? To vote anonymously in 1 second, just scroll to the comments of this video and look for the comment that I have left. It says vote, and then you leave either a thumbs up or a thumbs down on that comment to cast your vote on what you want in the newsletters going forward. Next week, it'll be a totally different experiment, and I'm just playing around right now and seeing what benefits you the most. You won't offend me either way. It's just I want to make this in the way that you would enjoy the most. Thanks.